In this episode, we're looking at smoke, lasers, and much more. Check it out.
So hello everybody.
Hey y'all.
Today we're doing LensVid episode 6. Hello Art.
Episode 6. Hey, how you doing?
And we have a lot of topics to cover, so let's start. The first thing is obviously this new setup that we're trying. We have new, these are NT1s, the 5th generation from Rode. We're trying them with, these are Elgato arms. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of these.
They're kind of stubborn.
No, I'm thinking that these mics with this, how do you call this? Suspension?
The
shock mount. Yeah, the shock mount is very front heavy, so this is kind of problematic. I don't know, it's just too front heavy. Sometimes it topples. Not really ideal for this setup, at least. Otherwise, they're sort of okay, but I don't know. Maybe in the future we'll consider replacing them with something more robust to hold these. If you have NT1s and you have some suggestions, hit us in the comments. That will be helpful. So this is the setup, and we have an up-down new table. So this goes up and goes down, and that's a lot of fun. Yeah, so the table is cool. But we do need to replace the tabletop because twice they already brought us one with scratches. So, it is what it is. Okay, so let's start. And the first thing that I wanted to discuss with you, Art, is the new Sony announcement earlier this week. We have two new cameras, the A7C II and the A7C R. Right. Not R2, which is a little bit confusing.
Yeah, these many lines of cameras is getting a little confusing. Yeah. For me, it was unexpected that they brought back. I thought it was kind of over now that the new lines came out.
Honestly, I don't understand the difference between the A7C C2 and ZV-E1.
Yeah.
They're kind of similar cameras. They're both relatively small. I mean, this is probably a little bit...
I don't know.
No, I think both of them have articulated screens, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think. Maybe wrong on that one. One of them had the flip-up screen. Which one was that?
No, none of
them. The vlogger style.
No, I think that both of them have articulated screens, and other than that, honestly, I would love to see like a side-by-side comparison of all the features because I'm thinking they're very, very similar. I know, but anyway, for those who didn't follow, the A7C Mark II is basically almost identical in many respects to the A7 IV,
right,
but with some updates that the A7 IV didn't have, like the new AI chip with all its features, and probably a few other smaller things.
But it's the same sensor, it's the same...
It's the same sensor, just like the A7C, the original one was similar to the A7 III.
Right.
So, it's very similar. It's the same body as the A7, the original A7C, so it's really tiny. The thing that, I know it is what it is, but I don't care that much for the viewfinder. For the A7C, I understand. But then they came up with a camera that I completely don't understand, and that's the A7C R. This camera is like really bizarre. I know. I'll be interested to hear what like other people think about this.
It's supposed to be a stripped down version of the R5.
Exactly.
With all the massive photo sensor.
Yeah. It has the same sensor, 61 megapixel sensor, which is fantastic. And what else?
But then with that viewfinder,
the viewfinder is, I don't want to say crappy, but it's very low resolution. Really low resolution. It's not even like, I don't know, like mid-level. It's like the Sony, I don't know, lower, I don't remember the exact resolution. I'll write it on the screen, but it's low resolution, and the monitor is not the amazing monitor. Oh, the monitor itself in the A7R5 is not amazing. What's amazing is the articulation thing that I really like. I was thinking that Sony is actually going to bringing this monitor to all the new cameras, but no.
What's stopping you, really?
Just the cost, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It's like $900 less expensive than the A7R5, but you're losing the memory card. It has both the A7C II and A7C R have one memory card,
Right.
versus both the A7 IV, which has two, but one of them is not. I think. Remember? I think one of them is not CF Express Type A compatible.
Right, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course the A7 R5 does have two CF Express Type A and two, yeah,
slots, right?
exactly. So I know it's like, and it's a small. I know it's like I wouldn't trade my A7 IV for this. But it's $900. It's a lot of money. So,
I see kind of their line of reasoning for the multiple. We talked about that a few episodes ago. Like the different lines that they're implementing and they're growing. I see the attraction for a smaller body for like if you're coming from like the A600 line, 6000 line.
Yeah.
Right, and it's a smaller compact camera, and then you're getting a beefy 61 megapixel sensor.
But the body, I mean, Sony always want to go for like the smallest possible body.
That's true.
But honestly, I mean, I said it many times. I have like tiny hands, like girl's hand, basically, like really tiny hands. And
you should like a girl.
Yeah, okay, but no, but I have small hands, and even for me, the A1 is like perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think who is the target audience for A6000 line or A7C line? People with like tiny, like how small hand? How much smaller hands do you have to have?
I shot for a couple of years.
You have big
way
hands.
Back when, yeah. I shot with a 6000 line camera years ago, and it was horrible. Like I love the picture, like coming off of.
No, the camera itself is okay, but the ergonomics is not good.
It was horrible. So I always had the vertical grip on it, just for the extra real estate for my hand.
Yeah. The thing that annoys me on the A6000 line and still with the A6700, the new one, is the fact that they don't have a joystick. That's I mean, they had the option to bring in a joystick. We have some noise in the background. To bring in a joystick, but they didn't do it. They kept basically more or less the same exact what do you call it, body, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, they change a few things, but it's the same body as the A6500, the A6600. So I don't get it, but it is what it is. So that's the A7C II and the A7C R. And now we can talk about the new 16 to 35 millimeter Mark II, which is interesting. You have the Mark 1, right?
35, yeah.
Yeah, this one. So the new one is like a 7-year-old lens, right?
It is, yeah. It's been out for a while.
Yeah, so that's a very popular lens. A lot of professional photographers use it. It's great. I mean, right?
Exactly, yeah.
It's very good. It's no wonder that they replace it. I think the last out of the 70-200, 24 to 70, because it didn't need to be replaced so much as the other two basically. Mm-hmm. So what's new about the new one? It's I think a little bit shorter, a little bit more compact.
Yeah,
not by much.
With the extension, it's considerably shorter than the other one.
What do you mean by
when you extend the lens?
Oh yeah, okay.
Like this is a lot bigger than the new. Like in this form, open format, and then if you close it down, then it's just a tiny little bit smaller. And it's got an extra.
It has the
button on the side.
Doesn't it have the new Aputure ring?
Yes, exactly. That's
so yeah. So and it has a lock for the Aputure ring, I think, as well. And so it has a couple of new features. The image quality. Did you see some comparisons?
No, not yet. That's pretty new still.
Yeah, so I didn't watch any comparisons yet. I think I watched some reviews, but I didn't watch like a comparison between the new and the old. But it will be interesting. The image quality on this is good, right?
It's great. It's very fast autofocus.
Yeah.
It's
I'm assuming they updated the autofocus 7 years ago. They didn't have the XD motors.
As is, it's already
very
good
fast. Yeah.
autofocus.
Yeah, and wider lenses usually don't need such such fast motors. But yeah, okay. So Sony continues to update all their line basically. I wanted to have something to say about. I published the 60 to 600 millimeter review. It took us some time. We thought that we will publish a long time. I was thinking that I was going to publish it, I think, like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and I don't know, for some reason it dragged on and on and on until I completely finished the review. I want to say something about the autofocus because so far we didn't get a lot of like comments, but I'm assuming that over time people will actually start commenting on this. And what I found is, and this is strange because I didn't see this too much on other reviews. Usually I don't read like too many reviews before I do my own, but if I encounter something which is strange or out of the ordinary or something that I think is like needs like more examination, then I do read some reviews. And in this case, for me, the tracking autofocus of fast moving subjects the experience was not that great. So I went in and looked at some other people's reviews, and I didn't see too much reviewers talking about this. So I don't know. I gave this lens to a friend of ours he's like a professional wildlife shooter. He has the Sony 600.
Yeah.
Hopefully, by the way, maybe we'll get a chance to review it. I don't know. We'll talk about this, but
interesting to compare this.
Yeah, no, obviously it's not comparable. It's a almost $13,000 lens. Okay, no, it's not. But it's amazing. I shot with her a little bit. It's an amazing lens. But anyway, so I gave him the 60 to 600 to play around with, and I shot with the 600 Sony. And the Sony was definitely faster, but he said that the 60 to 600 worked very well.
Yeah.
So I know. Maybe I had just bad experience. I know. I honestly don't know. So I'll say what I always say. You know, when you're buying something, read more than or watch more than one review,
course, yeah.
and decide for yourself. If you have a chance to like get one from your friend or loan something or maybe rent the lens, try it and then decide. Because again, for us, the tracking autofocus on moving subjects was not amazing, especially in video, but also in stills. But this was not the experience of other users apparently. So, you know, it is what it is. So that's the 60 to 600. You can watch the full review on LensVid, of course. It's quite a long review. We were talking about the 16 to 35, but we have this not just because of this, but because you did a review last week.
Yeah, I just did a review on this cage and handle combo from SmallRig. It's a half cage. Comes with a top plate that installs onto the camera's internal mount. And the cage is I mean, it's...
You've been using it for a few weeks now.
It's great, but it's great because of the camera mounting holes. So it connects here, it connects here, it has 3 points of contact, so it's solid, which is the first thing you want in a cage. But then I talked about this the plate, the Arca plate on the bottom being photocentric. It's more for ball heads for photography shooting, right? So for like a fluid head, you're going in sideways, so it's kind of pointless. You have to put in another plate on the bottom. But I think it's an easy fix. SmallRig's great about making different iterations, so I'm sure they'll listen to that. And this handle, this is pretty amazing. It's solid. I was quite impressed by it. It's 360-degree rotation. Feels great. Works great.
The only problem I think is that in this configuration, when you put it on a table, you need to spin it to...
Right, but it's an easy... Yeah. I mean, you could put on like a longer NATO rail so you can adjust it to where it says flush. I don't know if that Depending on your use case. If like this is pretty minimal. This gauge kind of sits on there. You don't really notice it, which is what I like about it. But it adds functionality.
Did you shoot handheld with this?
Yeah, always.
Oh, okay. And it adds stabilization to how you hold it, basically?
Yeah. I'm actually thinking of, I've never shot with a right-sided handle. I'm thinking 2 handles would make it solid. You can actually put this handle on the right side. It would be kind of backwards because this is supposed to be like a pistol grip type hold. But you could, I mean, it's not bad. For support, it would do.
Is it possible to put the same handle on the other side, because this is a NATO rail connector, right?
Yeah. So you put this handle. It's sold separately from the cage, so it comes with its own NATO rail. So you can install that on here and have the handle on here.
And they will be at the same height.
Yeah, because there's no mounting holes on the top. Yeah. So it'll be kind of the same.
Okay. No, because otherwise it won't be comfortable. Like if one of them.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think for that they actually have another version that's not a pistol grip. It's just a handle, so it can work on both sides. So yeah, you'd probably go for something like that.
So maybe at some point we'll talk to SmallRig and ask them to send us another one where we show how a 2-handled grip version works. Yeah, if it's not too front heavy, I guess it will work fine. I know.
Well, they actually mentioned that on their site, like these triggers release the handle, and they say don't release the triggers on both sides at the same time because the camera will fall.
Oh, so they do plan this to work on both sides?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, with the other one is the same mechanism apparently. It's just a different grip.
The grip that you have here is a left or right grip. So this is a left.
No, that's the thing. This is a left only. It's like
they have the same one for right.
No, I didn't see them.
Oh, so you need a completely different one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Unless I missed something, but it didn't look like they had a.
That's strange. Why? I mean, I understand why they usually have it on the left, but okay, yeah. Oh. The next thing is a new. Well, it's not completely new product by Ifootage, but it's like it was announced, I think, like a month or 2 ago. Yeah, it's on the side, and here, no, you can see it in the frame, but I'll put it on the screen. It's do you remember the model? It's
PL80 something, 80C, I think.
Yeah, C for versions. Color, and we have the color version. It's a 80-watt panel, right?
Right.
Colored panel, and you're testing it right now. Probably by the time this video will be up, the video will also be up, or very shortly afterwards.
Yeah, right before or after. So.
Yeah, we have a busy week next week, but yeah. So that's coming. So that's a review that's coming very soon. And there is a new carbon fiber. Actually, I think they have 2 of them, aluminum and carbon fiber tripod by YC Onion.
Yeah, they're great.
And that one is really interesting. They've been working on this for like, I think 3 years or 2.5 years.
They said something about it last year when we were
at
for
ABC,
sure. So
they've been working on it for a long time.
Got a bunch of patents on it. It's really an interesting piece
I've been in talk with them, and they told me that they basically have been working on it for a long time, and they registered. That's almost unimaginable. They have like patents on hold or whatever, pending patents, like 40 of them for this tripod alone.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
You would think, what else can you add?
Yeah,
to tripod,
I mean, tripods have been around for years. I mean, how much can you innovate on one tripod? Yeah. Apparently, you can. I know.
40 times at least.
Yeah. No, I know if they will receive all 40, but still, I mean, it's a lot. So that's the PINETA PEAK carbon fiber tripod or aluminum tripod. And it's basically, they started from what they told me. They started with the concept from Prolycht, the Zackler tripod that a lot of people know. It's like very famous and very like we saw it in IBC last year.
Yeah.
But that has been around for quite a few years now. Yeah. So they started from there, but they went in all sorts of different directions. So it's not like a copy, of the Flowtech or anything.
Yeah.
It's different, obviously.
We reviewed the monopod with a similar.
Yeah.
I guess it's a similar type of technology.
Yeah.
It's a one lever release designed for 3 telescoping sections. So
Exactly.
it's great.
Yeah. And in this case, I'm not sure if it's one. I don't know.
It looks like it's one on each leg.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
It would be amazing if you can open one and open all 3 legs.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure how that will work.
I think the Flowtech actually works
Is one?
like that. Yeah.
One for all 3? Okay.
But it's a lot beefier. I mean, that's a big tripod.
Yeah.
This one looks pretty travel worthy.
I've talked to YC Onion. There is a chance that we will use that tripod. We're going to IBC. We'll talk about this in the next LensVid Talk just before we leave. But IBC is the big trade show, expo in Amsterdam. It starts in the 14th, so we have another LensVid Talk until then. But hopefully we can use it during the show. We have some interviews to record. So that's that. PMI, the company that makes the smoke genie that we have on the table, if you can do this without hitting the mic. So they have this new version. That's the original one. We did a review, Art did a review of this.
A while ago.
A while, quite some time. This thing is great, but it's kind of expensive. $600-700 more. I know. It's
with the kit. I don't know if the kit is a separate price, but
no, it's expensive. So they have now a new. They call it a PMI Smoke Genie Ninja. So that's the new
this
version.
one's a Smoke Genie. The other one's a Smoke Ninja.
Yeah. Okay. So the name is different, and I mean it's quite a bit smaller than this one.
Yeah.
And what else? It has less like a little bit less functionality, I think.
It's kind of it has presets. This one it has a menu screen and you can choose your.
There you have 3 buttons.
Yeah, there's like just press.
I wouldn't. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make for the price.
Exactly, because for as small as this one is, and you can for product photography, it's great because you can hide it and you can use have it emit.
This comes in a hard case, which is pretty large.
Yeah.
The other one comes, I think, in either soft case or
it's like a pouch. It's a lot smaller. The actual unit's a lot smaller, but it creates the same kind of smoke effects as this one, which is great.
Yeah, I think this one can last for like 10 minutes of smoke, which is like nuts. And nobody uses it for 10 minutes.
That's what they say. I've used it. It kind of like this
overheats after some time.
Well, it doesn't. It has sensors that will prevent itself from overheating, and they'll cut you off.
Oh, okay.
So not that I would need 10 minutes of smoke. I mean, you would smoke up this whole room, set off the fire alarm in here.
Yeah.
But I've tried it outside a couple of times. And it's
How long?
Definitely not 10 minutes, not even 5, maybe a minute.
Oh, but the other one is supposed to be a minute, so I know it's like. And what happens after a minute? It stops?
Yeah, it'll say like, it'll just pause and say something like,
wait a couple of minutes.
Warning, something like that. Oh. So usually you don't just hit, like, just operate it the whole time. You do it in bursts.
Yeah.
Which, like that, then it won't overheat. I don't know if it's a battery issue, depending on what
maybe our batteries weren't very good. Okay. Yeah. Which batteries did we use? Something from an old June?
I think so.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's a battery thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the most important thing here is the price. It's about third of the price. I don't remember the exact pricing, but it's like significant. Significantly lower. Because I've been talking to a lot of people who really wanted this, and they were saying, the pricing were way too high. And obviously they got this, so they figure out a way to make it cheaper. So that's good. We have an interesting news, which is like not a product. This is like an acquisition news. So Aputure acquired, I don't know how to pronounce it, Prolycht. I know. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd heard of it before they got acquired.
No, I actually heard about them. They have some very interesting. I think that you also heard about them. They have these very high quality RGB COB lights. I think 600 watts or 300 and 600. Right, yeah. I think you know what I'm talking about. But they've been working with another company for some years about the optics for their the German company. I forgot their name. I'll put it on the screen. But I know this acquisition is strange. I didn't expect this. I'm not sure maybe why Aputure bought them.
They were saying that Prolycht, let's just call them Prolycht.
Yeah, okay.
It's a Chinese company, so if that means something in Chinese, I'm sorry.
I'm not exactly sure if they're. I think that they're just.
Well, their CEO at least is Chinese.
Yeah, no, I think that the company is from California or something. At least I know. Okay. Regardless, yeah. So what
they
is
were
the
saying
reason?
like their whole expertise is in like color rendering. So not that Aputure needs that because I think they're doing a great job, but apparently that's the strength. That they just want to take over that.
Yeah, it's really maybe they have patents, maybe their team is strong. There are all sorts of reasons why companies acquire other companies. Some of them are like eliminating a competition, but I don't think that in this case, like Aputure is much bigger than this company. And sometimes you want the people, sometimes you want the infrastructure or the marketing chain, or you can never know.
The production process is a big deal instead of recreating it.
So I know maybe there is some reason for that. They wouldn't do it otherwise. We have something really interesting. So on this one, basically this is a video by Media Division. Media Division is, I'm not sure if it's a division, if it's like more than one person, but if they have more than one person, that's great. But the person who does this is a German guy, a YouTuber, who has an amazing YouTube channel, one of my favorite on YouTube especially for lenses and everything that has to do with lenses. His productions are like Hollywood level things. You should really watch this video. His recent video was about the new what you may call them, the LAOWA probe, the new LAOWA probes that we talked about last week on the last LensVid Talk. Actually, on the last LensVid Talk, when we discussed those, they were not announced, or at least when we recorded them, they were not announced, and we didn't say correct things about them. Basically, I think you mentioned that they can change in all sorts of ways. It's not exactly true. There are 3 lenses.
Right, exactly. There's one at least version of them that does that, but
one. So it goes like this: one lens is straight, one lens is 35 degrees, and one lens is a periscope lens, which is like a 90 degree. And this lens, I think you can change the orientation somehow.
Yeah, because it's like a big barrel on one side, like it's a probe, right? So where the mount is, the bayonet, you can if you turn it, I guess it gives you a different
angle,
like in and out.
Well, I think that what he said and what I saw in other reviews is that you need tools to do that, and I honestly don't understand why. It's like it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
They should have made like a thumb screw or something that you can.
It's like a tilt shift type lens, right? Where there's a mechanism where you just release it and move it.
Yeah.
I would think that why not?
I know, but regardless, watch that review. The production value is amazing. Yeah, it's amazing, and his channel in general is just fantastic. So that's the correction that I wanted to make about the lenses, and you have
Sorry for the misinformation.
Yeah, and a bonus, the review or the video is great. So that's that. There are 2 Atomos new Atomos products.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get this one. So there is a Ninja and a Ninja Ultra.
Yes.
So did you get what the regular Ninja does that the existing Ninja, like Ninja 5, doesn't do?
It's like there are on the previous, I guess, I don't know how they're going to do it now, but they had like all these optional product, like software, firmware type things that you can add.
Yeah.
And this one already comes with them. And
that's the only difference?
And a bunch of different
aspect
format,
ratios, and,
like format, recording formats
yeah.
and stuff, compressions. That's what I could gather from it.
And what the Ultra brings,
And the Ultra has like a cloud feature. I guess it's camera to
built
cloud.
in somehow, or are you?
Yeah, well, they didn't have a lot of information there. It's just, but that's the difference that they talked about.
I think that they're going to be in IBC, so we should definitely go in and talk to them about this and maybe bring you some more information, because honestly, I didn't understand the differences, and they seemed a little bit too small to justify a completely new product. And they didn't change. Oh, one thing, they didn't change the body of the.
Yeah, it's the same exact panel, everything.
I wouldn't. I know. It does.
And that one's kind of old too.
It's very old. I think that one thing that I didn't like is that it can be a little bit noisy with the fan. I'm not sure if they fixed that.
It gets really hot and really noisy very quick.
So I know we have to. If we talk to them, in an interview, we'll definitely.
It's a great product, and it's been very widely used.
Yeah, a lot of people use it.
Going on for many years.
We have the Plus, the Plus version. We use it not that often, honestly, but I think that the main issue is that we don't have a lot of advantages for Sony users. I mean, yeah, you can record in like ProRes, but other than that, nothing basically. I mean, it's a monitor, but we have other monitors. So
because we mostly shoot in the studio, it's you don't need the SSD functionality.
Yeah,
you can always get more cards.
Yeah, it's for us. It's not that useful, but we
the few times that I've used it on different small productions, it's great. But it does get really hot.
Yeah,
I shot in the desert one time, and it was hot to begin with.
and it made noise.
It's very loud.
Yeah,
but depending on the production, there I didn't care about.
The audio obviously. Anyway. Okay, so that's the new Atomos products. There is two things connected to Lidar. For those who don't know, Lidar technology or laser radar technology, I don't know how you want to call it. It's acronym. First of all, I think that Panasonic started like a cooperation with DJI. DJI had, I think it was one of the first companies, of the first, I don't know, to bring in a LiDAR to like consumer products, cameras basically.
Mm-hmm.
Now the idea,
the gimbal, it actually worked through the gimbal.
The initial version, now I think it works with
now what they're announcing now is that they want to give native use to these select Panasonic Lumix cameras.
But doesn't the DJI have a standalone unit which doesn't need their gimbal to work with?
It's not a gimbal, but you still need some kind of an adapter, whatever they're calling it.
I think they keep advancing it all the time. So I know it's interesting, but we'll see what will come out of this cooperation. But that's interesting. The only company that, not the only company, both Canon and Sony still didn't say anything about LiDAR technology. I'm really waiting for that, or for like a third party, like non-brand specific one, which brings us to the next product.
Right.
So PDMOVIE, the Chinese manufacturer, which I think you reviewed a
while back.
Live Air 2S, I think.
That's right.
Follow focus. They're making follow focus products.
Wireless follow focus.
Wireless follow focus. And they came up with a completely new product which looks like the Live Air 2S, but it has a huge, interesting new feature, which is built-in LiDAR onto the follow focus. So it's like a tiny, it's not a camera, it's a LiDAR.
Yeah.
And it works in like, I think 3 or 4 meters distance. I think they sent us
not a lot. I think it's
fairly close.
Depending on the lighting conditions, up to 4.5 meters. Like that.
Yeah, so 3-4 meters.
18 feet was it?
Yeah, and so pretty close, but it focuses on the closest subject, basically, if I understand this correctly, right?
Yeah, it only gives you, I guess it depends on the firmware, it only gives you like 1 point. You can't just, it won't analyze a scene, and you can't just click on something to...
No, it doesn't work.
So you pick a point, and then it just focuses on that. Whatever you need, foreground, background.
But you don't have. I mean, it doesn't have an unless it's app activated. It doesn't have any interface. It just connect it, and it changes the full focus.
Well, maybe it has like a distant. It has to have some kind of interface.
No, I'm thinking.
No.
I know. We will see. I've been talking to them. Hopefully, we'll get this for a review. So if we get it, you'll be the first to know.
It's like the old lenses where you would focus depending on the distance. Maybe it's kind of like that.
No, I'm thinking the closest subject to the frame will be in focus. It's limiting.
If that's what you want.
Okay, so but it's you have to work around this limitation.
It's still a very new technology, or at least a very new implementation of this technology.
Yeah.
So it's great that more companies are venturing into that territory, but we'll see how that works.
Yeah. Basically, just for those who are not familiar with this, it means that you can put like a cine lens, for example, or a completely manual focus lens with gears, and basically autofocus with it. Again, with the limitations that we just talked about, but you can shoot, like if I want to shoot that glass, I can. Actually, glass is a bad example because it will probably reflect the laser, but that's the general idea. So we will see if we get it for a review. We'll definitely take it through its paces. And we have another interesting product. This is completely new from Magmod. They have a new, it's basically a line of modifiers for lighting modifiers for Bowens. So in the past they had like small modifiers for flashes,
Right.
and this line is like for larger
studio strobes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very interesting. Some of them collapse, like they're rubber sort of material.
Yeah, it's a reflector, like the regular reflector that you would use in a light, but it's a rubber core, so it collapses, which is great because it's small
and it's magnetic, I think, on the front.
Right,
like
and
other ones.
that's the magnetic. So like the accessories just get like one. There's one that attaches to the bones mount, and everything else it's stackable, right? So everything else connects magnetically to the front. So if you want a grid and a gel, and I don't know what else they offer, but mostly grids and gels.
And maybe diffusers.
Oh, diffuser, like a lantern style dome, a silicone dome. So you can have all three on those, and those just pop on magnetically, and it's just the easiest installation.
Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty cool. If we get one for a review, we'll definitely test it. What else? One of the last things that we want to talk about. There is a new. It's basically tablet, writing tablet, or XP Pen. It's I think a Chinese company. Pro 16 display. So that's I've been wanting to try those. I think I had the old
Wacom.
Wacom, but not the ones with the monitor.
Right, just the
pad, which I never liked because
I never could get used to.
It's very difficult to work with something where you don't actually see what you're doing.
Exactly, yeah.
So these ones are really interesting.
I had a friend photographer who would edit Photoshop images with that thing.
Of course, a lot of people do, but
it's like
it's difficult.
Every time you go back, like you pick up the stylus and you go back, you don't know where you are on the.
It's eye-hand coordination adjustment.
But this one looks great because it's a 16-inch panel, like the display. They actually have 14 as well.
Yeah. I think they have larger ones as well, but this one is not 4K. It's like, I think, 1440p or something close to that, something similar. I personally prefer 4K because all my monitors are 4K, but 16 inches is like too small for 4K. It's you need for 4K, you would probably need something like this and a 22 at least. And 22 is kind of big, so I don't know.
That'll take up a lot of room on
the table. So, but that's an interesting product. I'm not sure about the pricing. The pricing is very important about these. The Wacom ones are very, very expensive. These ones are like a little bit more affordable. I think usually in the 600 to 1,000 price like price range or something, but I don't know. We'll see. And we have another product. Let me bring it in. So this thing is really interesting. This is called Gold Crown from Inky. It's basically like a flashlight. I'll show it in here. It has this ring thing. You need to spin it. I'm not sure if I'm in the right direction. It has a small monitor in the back. You never know which direction you need to turn it. Oh, okay.
Takes a while.
Yeah, so now it works. I'm not too keen about this mechanism, but other than that, it's a very interesting design, and it has this feature. It's supposed to be like a flashlight, but with high CRI and everything. You can use it to do shoots, and it has this. Let me open it. Oh, so this basically, how much you can actually see maybe from here. So this opens and basically you get a Bowens mount. So
it becomes a COB light.
So yeah, you sort of, you can use a reflector on this or maybe a small modifier. I'm not sure if like a soft
box.
Maybe a small soft box. Yeah, like a very small one.
Because this would be what, like a 60 watt? Smaller?
Honestly, I don't know.
We'll need to do some tests.
Yeah, this is going for a review. It will take us some time, probably after IBC, but yeah, it's an interesting product. It's pretty powerful, so that's pretty cool. So unless you have anything else to add, do you have anything? I think we covered everything for this one.
That's everything from the news.
Yeah. So we'll see you in the next LensVid Talk. Don't forget to subscribe and
check out the website.
Exactly. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye all.